Hi everyone, thanks for making it Jamaica Magazine on this busy Friday. I am Adrian Atkinson. Today's show is all about empowerment in one way or another. We'll be looking at how the CSJP and the JDF are motivating youth in inner city communities. And then we'll hop over to DuPont Primary to see what's being done to encourage students to embrace the spirit of volunteerism. There's something for everyone in this edition of Jamaica Magazine. Stay with us.
Householders, business people, school administrators, protect yourself and your children from the chikungunya virus. Be on the alert. Help control the mosquito population. Chikungunya is a virus transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which breeds in and around your home, workplace, and school. Destroy breeding sites. Empty old tires and all other containers where water can settle. Bore holes in old cans. Cover water drums and garbage cans. Wash flower pots and vases and clean pet dishes regularly. Protect yourself from mosquito bites. Cover your body as much as possible and use mosquito repellent containing DEET. And if you're experiencing symptoms of chikungunya, a sudden high fever, headache, rash, nausea, pain, stiffness, or severe joint pains, see your doctor or go to the nearest health center.
Good day, I'm Carrie Ann Smith, and this is your GIS News for Friday, September 5. Youth and Culture Minister Lisa Hanna has made good on her promise not to leave young people's development to chance, having just signed a memorandum of understanding to give 50 students access to higher education in agriculture. The agreement was signed Wednesday between the National Youth Service and the College of Agriculture, Science and Education, CASE. It gives students access to $100,000 each under the Access to Higher Education Partnership Program.
The reason why we're implementing this program is because we have to move from becoming a country of samples in terms of agricultural products. We need more people producing so that the world can get the best taste of Jamaica, so that farmers today are not only feeding our country for food security, but farmers today are actually supplying the world and making foreign exchange.
CASE has also committed to paying a further 20% of tuition fees through a work-study program. And the 4-H Club will be providing full scholarships to agriculture students from the parishes of St. Anne, St. Catherine and Manchester. Students can download application forms from the NYS or CASE websites. In the meantime, Minister Hanna says the NYS will be signing 7 other MOUs with institutions of higher learning under the Access to Higher Education Partnership Program. That includes the Caribbean Maritime Institute and the Brownstown Community College.
In order for jobs to be created, what do we need? We need entrepreneurs. And we need people who are not only leaving university to look for jobs, we need people who are going to be leaving university to create jobs. And so we have to give you the best opportunity to do that.
The Ministry of Education officially opened the 2014-2015 new academic year on Thursday at the Paul Bogle High School in St. Thomas.
The real value of the education you're getting at any high school in Jamaica is well over $100,000 a year. The real value of a good primary education comes close to $100,000 when you consider all of the inputs being made by everyone and probably more. It is a pearl of great price.
Recently, the ministry announced that starting this month, it was putting programs in place to improve the performance of the Robert Lightburn, Paul Bogle and Seaforth High Schools in St. Thomas. The institutions will be pooling their resources under a school district arrangement model. There has been a 19% decline in the number of children reported missing between January and June of this year when compared to the corresponding period in 2013. Registrar of the Office of the Children's Registry, Greg Smith, says 984 children were reported missing over the 6-month period. Of that number, 614 returned home and 2 were found dead. 368 are still considered missing.
We believe the fact that less children are going missing means our messages are having an impact. However, we remain conscious that the fact that we must work assiduously to improve the rate of recovery of missing children.
As a result, between April and July, Mr. Smith says the OCR began search and rescue training across the island with nurses, educators, guidance counselors, children's officers, and fire personnel. The OCR will also be printing and distributing 3,000 copies of search and rescue protocol manuals developed to provide guidance in finding missing children. Plans are now underway for the development of a comprehensive pension plan for farmers. On Wednesday, the Jamaica Agricultural Society and the COK Sodality Cooperative Credit Union signed a memorandum of understanding to make this happen. The intention is to have farmers contribute to what will be called the JAS COK Farmers Pension Scheme.
Farmers work for 50 years, 40 years, some 60 years, and they don't have the avenue to look towards a pension. JAS would like to pioneer a program where our farmers in Jamaica be provided with some avenues to contribute to a pension plan.
The JAS president says the scheme will target 15,000 farmers over the next 2 years, but in the long term it's hoped that all 220,000 farmers will get on board. Part of the education campaign for the pension scheme will include NIS registration. And finally, members of the public can pay their respects to the late Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Roger Clark, by signing condolence books in Kingston. This can be done at the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Hope Gardens headquarters and the People's National Party headquarters at 89 Old Hope Road. Meanwhile, the Jamaica Agricultural Society used its board meeting on Wednesday to open a condolence book and allow its members to pay tribute to the late minister.
Roger sought to speak for those who did not have a voice.
He proved that there is dignity in farming and that a big heart is better than a closed mind.
His contribution to the forage clubs was very tangible because under his leadership, the government budgetary contribution to the forage movement grew by over 1,000%.
Roger Clark will be laid to rest next Saturday in his home parish of Westmoreland. And that's it for GIS News Today. I'm Carrie-Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.
Do you want to know more about the Jamaica Logistics Sub-Initiative? What of the proposed transshipment port at Goat Islands? Or the jobs to be provided when the hub is fully implemented? Then sign up for the Logistics 101 training course. This free course is available when groups or organizations make a request.
The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce website, the Logistics Sub-Task Force, and you can register. As long as you have a cohort, we'll take it to you.
Increase your awareness about logistics. Call 968-7116.
Today's show is all about exploring tools that empower and build human capital. This first tool of empowerment we'll be looking at is what we call skills development. It's the main goal of a program being implemented by the Ministry of National Security.
CSJP is a crime and violence prevention initiative which builds the overall safety and security of communities. Part of the prevention strategy involves providing an outlet for young people to support themselves and family, rather than turning to accusatory crimes like robbery and violent crimes like murder. And so, in 2012, the CSJP began a partnership with the JDF through a Memorandum of Understanding to offer on-the-job training to hundreds of youngsters. It initially started out as a 6-month program, but based on feedback from participants and organizers, it was extended on about 2 occasions.
The partnership was born out of the fact that many of the youngsters we observe lack practical experience, and given the current macroeconomic situation, many of them were unable to get jobs.
So, since the JDF has a number of construction projects underway at Up Park Camp and CSJP participants need the experience, the partnership allowed those who are already certified to undertake the required tasks. That leaves room for members of the JDF Engineering Regiment to embark on other projects of national importance. The target group is unattached or at-risk youth, persons in the 20 to 35 age group who are certified by the Hearts Trust NTA, have a clean police record, and reside in one of the 50 CSJP communities.
The overall objectives of the program is really to improve the employability of the youngsters. But critically for us also is the improvement in their social skills.
The CSJP also pays a stipend and provides the safety gear for the youngsters, while the Army representatives supervise the participants and the execution of their tasks.
They will come in and whatever it is that their tasks are, or their supervisors will pass on to them, they will do whatever that is for the day. And even if they don't know what to do, they'll be coached and told what to do. And eventually they acclimatize, or they manage to simulate it, and it works for them in the long run.
One of the good things about this CSJP JDF program is that the participants are being cross-trained, allowed to develop a multiplicity of skills. As part of the crime-fighting strategy, the government has been focused on improving the relationship between the citizens and security personnel, building trust, and reminding persons that a safer Jamaica requires the input of all citizens. Now, through the CSJP program, that relationship is being bolstered as the participants have one-on-one interaction with the soldiers.
Interacting with the soldiers, them, you know, when they are on duty on the road, they are totally different from over here. So, getting to know them, they are human beings as well.
Some program participants who had no intention of being in the military even exceeded their individual expectations and decided to apply for a job.
Recruiting has taken place, and you must recognize that the recruiting process for the Jamaica Defence Force is an open process. It is not limited to any individual or group. So even if these individuals were not a part of this program, they could have applied to become a part of the JDF anyway.
A lot of my friends came on the program with not the interest of being in the army. They weren't exactly thinking in that area, but since we've been here, our mentality has changed so much that we have now I've seen the need to go in the army.
Those friends have since graduated from the JDF training program and are now officially soldiers.
Right now, I want to tell you I'm an all-rounder, right? Because I realize when I'm home, there's no challenge too hard for me to fix it. You understand? So right now, I'm a local Mr. Fix It.
Before I came here, I was only able to wire a house. Now I'm able to climb posts and stuff.
I mostly worked on cars and stuff, but now I'm working on being able to work on the trucks and the tractors. I've learned a little more technicality and more teamwork.
My plans of complete this program is trying to go out there, make myself more marketable and get a job that I can take care of myself and family.
The Ministry of National Security through CSJP and the JDF, transforming the lives of unattached youth to enhance their vocational skills and promote positive behavioral change. It's all part of the broader strategy to beef up social intervention programs, creating opportunities for youngsters while keeping them out of harm's way. This will in turn lead to improved security and safety in communities across Jamaica, allowing the government to fulfill Strategic Priority 3 for the financial year.
Stand up and get in the race.
I can become the master of my destiny.
Step up your stride, make we work like a harder. Do it like Veronica, more than a supper.
We can rise above the challenges and shine.
Was with passion in your heart. Make a plan and stop all the idling. You think I saw? We reach a the aging. I can, you can. Like our Olympians, every Jamaican can.
Serving others for the satisfaction of knowing you made an impact. That's at the heart of the spirit of volunteerism. And it's amazing how much it empowers. The Jamaica Red Cross is a great organization for this kind of empowerment. And some students at DuPont Primary School in St. Andrew are learning just that.
Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race.
I feel very happy because to be in this club, it's great because we help all the vulnerable. When we go to places like the burn ward at children's home and mustard seed, and giving the children gifts. We feel excited because we know that we're giving and we know that we're going to be leaders of tomorrow.
A whopping 135 students, including 45 boys, have signed up to be a part of the Red Cross group at the DuPont Primary School. Welcome to another week of School Zone. I'm Tamara McHale. Today we find out how this inner city school is using this medium to engage the students while teaching them the value of giving back. Do stay with me.
What a team, Red Cross and the team, uniting all the people them, we serve one another. No hate barrier, no inner team. For in life, disaster and the team. So come help the sick and the suffering, and lend a hand to the needy. When war starts, Red Cross is neutral. For love and peace to say, no confusion. We know all appeal to his service, and we united and impartial. Henry Dunant started, we down at Switzerland. Now the whole world are run with it. Red Cross to the world.
Dressed in white with some already in their red hats and emblems, was the newest set of students to join the Red Cross Corps at DuPont Primary. So large was the group that it's said to have made the history books within Red Cross in Jamaica.
I don't recall a school having this number of persons enrolled in recent times. You are serving one another. So as you do that and you keep doing it, you will raise yourselves to greater heights.
So what does Red Cross uphold?
It promotes mutual understanding, friendship, cooperation, and lasting peace amongst all people. It endeavors only to relieve suffering, giving priority to the most urgent cases of distress.
We don't discriminate, we just help. You can do lots of things like go to the hospital, help the poor, and everything to give them soap, food, things like that.
We have a relationship with a school in Canada. Oftentimes, our school, through our principal, they send us gifts. They will send us like wheelchair and those things. Now, our principal look on which club is doing well, and he will say, okay, Red Cross is doing well, so I'll give you this gift, and you distribute to whoever you want. Now, we have the homes, and we have the hospital, and we have these places where we want to give. So we go, and we give it to them.
Having such a large number of students enrolled in the club is in line with Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaite's appeal for more students to become members of uniformed groups, a point supported by the school's chairman.
This is certainly a good move. We want to get our children involved in something a little bit more than themselves, organizations and activities where they are linked to giving service to humanity. And this is an example of that.
A fine example of how to keep students active, engaged, and disciplined. DuPont Primary is reaping the benefits.
When they look on DuPont, molding the children have become, in giving, they become so conscious that I have potential. Oh, I'm wonderful. Oh, I can do things. I may be in a inner city, but the inner city is not in me. I am bigger than that.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place is much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place.
My child being a part of this program right now, I'm feeling totally elated because the Red Cross is a very good program to get your children involved in, because I myself was a member while I was going to high school.
I feel real good. It can help to change them and be a better person.
It's a good program because she gets to help other children, help other parents. She can get to help other children by after donations, mothers contribute, give to her so she can help other people. You know?
DuPont Primary Red Cross, linking together a community through the chain of service and friendship.
We are the Red Cross and the DuPont Private School. United we stand, divided we fall. We have a vision to be great leaders of tomorrow as we serve one another. As we serve one another. As we serve one another.
Indeed, it's quite uplifting to see all these students giving back through the medium of Red Cross. Hopefully you too can get involved in a service group in your school or community. Till next time, I'm Tamara McHale for School Zones.
Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race.
Art can be used as a tool to empower, no matter who you are and where you live. Pablo Picasso once said, "The artist is a receptacle for emotions that come from all over the place, from the sky, from the earth, from a scrap of paper, from a passing shape, or even from a spider's web." Up next, a program to Art of Downtown.
In May 2013, directors at the studio dared to dream big, and through funding sourced from international non-profit arts and cultural organization OpenVisor and collaboration with the Caribbean Institute of Media and Communication, CARIMAC, they conceptualized the Art Up Downtown project, which ran for 3 months in the pilot phase.
The program really was about getting more Jamaicans to be able to tell their own stories. The students did workshops inside the studio, learning to work with equipment, having to do with audio production, video production, photography. And they also did a lot of work on the road. So I would say the workshops on the road were really what made this program very special, you know, because it was a real-life experience for the students.
Following the workshops, participants were challenged to explore their immediate environment and find positive and interesting stories which could be represented through art. Those involved included 11 interns from CARIMAC and 8 of the studio's regular patrons.
Everybody just come in and they work as a team. And it was great because they did interview, they did like photography. I helped these students by showing them around, telling them about Market Life, what Market Life was all about.
We want them to see other people, see what we're doing, so that them can see that we're doing all of those things downtown here.
And it tells you everything about the good parts of downtown. It was totally fantastic. They were nice, they were polite. They took everything time by time with me because, you know, the very first time you're going on video to help someone is like, okay, you're going to be shaking at first, but they talked to me, they helped me laugh, and I just enjoyed myself right through it, like normal.
The exciting interaction between these budding artists and their subjects gave birth to a comprehensive exhibition that found a home within the walls of the studio, showcasing artwork inclusive of drawings, paintings, pictures, video and audio representations of life in the bustling town center.
We went through audio production, photography and video production. That entailed learning how to do stories, interviewing persons on the street, for your audio stories, going on the street again, taking pictures of the buildings, of the people, and learning how to tell a story through pictures, be it one picture or three, and tell a story. And then with video production, what we learned was to tell a story now with video. How to express emotion, how to express the ideas of people, vox pops. They were very excited about it because this is equipment that they've seen but never touched or operated. So they're really excited about it. They caught on quickly.
My skills in videoing, editing has improved. I learned about audio. And what I really improved on was the going out there on the streets, interviewing people, interacting with people, because at Karamat we learned the foundation of audio. So basically when we came here, I learned how to actually carry it out.
The Art Up Downtown project is not the studio's only offering. Neither does it just cater to individuals in and around downtown.
Outside of the Art Up Downtown program, we normally have workshops on Saturdays, and we have a number of plans, a number of things coming on stream very soon. I would definitely want people to know that we'll soon be offering support for CXC, CAPE, and Bachelors of Arts degree students.
What we do also here, we actually teach therapy art, where persons can come, as I said before, and kind of get back to themselves and so forth, because the thing is that sometimes, like during the incursion and so forth, persons were actually terrified and so forth. So what we do, we create programs like these now to make them actually feel comfortable again. It's a place where persons can relax and connect with oneself.
I would want to say to the organizers that they're doing a fantastic job. They should keep it up. And we really appreciate it. And I know that the youths here at Studio 174, they also appreciate it.
I want them to continue on their journey and never give up. Because I see students with determination and lots of promise in them. The Art Up program is something good. It's a good thing for downtown, and I'm hoping for the best for it.
I would tell them, come again, do more projects like that.
Organizers have listened, and the second installment of the project began in May 2014, ensuring that a new batch of students can explore their creativity while gaining practical experiences and life skills. There's no age limit for participating in the programs that are offered, so feel free to drop by the studio located at 174 Harbor Street and see what it's all about. You may also send an email to studio174jamaica@hotmail.com or visit their Facebook page to find out more.
And that's it for this Friday's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Hope you were motivated to get a skill, volunteer in your community or with an organization, or express yourself using art. For more inspiration, view our features at jis.gov.jm, follow us on Twitter at JIS News, and send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. I'm Adrian Atkinson, and this has been Jamaica Magazine. Another program comes your way tomorrow. Until then, do take care, and thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.